Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the mid-market madness. I almost said fintech frenzy, but none of those would have been correct, by the way. If I said fintech frenzy, tech frenzy, my names are all over the place. We're trying new things these days. All right. That being said, SoFi stock is just playing with the $18 mark right now. This morning, however, was a completely different story. If we go to even, let's say, a 3-minute mark here, you can see right in the morning, we hit $18.42 as we hit the highest level of excitement for earnings since essentially 3 years ago. Okay. And actually, that was on its way down from an even higher level of excitement in the $24 ranges. But that being said, right now, we're fiddling with $18. We're above it right now, but we'll keep an eye on that going forward. This is the last trading day possible before Q4 earnings. Okay. Monday morning, we'll be live at 6:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to have essentially a couple minutes before the actual release comes out. Then the report's going to come out. Myself, along with a large crew of other SoFi investors, are going to be breaking down what we're seeing in the numbers, trying to pick it apart as a group together for 8 o'clock, whenever the actual earnings call starts. And then we'll be listening to that. And then, boy, oh boy, there's going to be a lot of updating all of our spreadsheets to see all the new numbers. Now, SoFi is a little bit different than most companies. Okay. They essentially report earnings much earlier than they are able to. They give us sort of a preliminary number and show us all their numbers. Like, obviously, they have all the details already, but they don't actually release the 10Q, or this time it'll be a 10K, with the rest of what we see until probably about 2 to 3 weeks after what we actually see. So we're going to see the bulk numbers. We're going to see EPS. We're going to see revenue. We're going to see member growth, product growth, expectations going forward. What we're not going to see is stuff like, loan performance, the quality of their credit card business. We're not going to see those types of things. So we'll have to wait for a lot of that. And in between these two moments, there is two different types of analysts that are going to come out. One that is happy with what they see or potentially mad at what they see originally. And then the second group of analysts will completely hold out with what they're going to put out until they actually get to see the rest of the report. Okay. Here in the retail analyst community, or, people with much less credentials, we're going to do both. But yeah. Let's see here. How good is Nubank now, you reckon? The same as it was 2 weeks or 1 month ago. I'm here to see what it actually says, or what the management says on earnings. So I'm not buying a share until I hear from them, until I see some of their earnings that they're actually going to put out. All right. I just bought 80 more shares, says Fernando. Wow. Money Mentor, how's it going, my friend? How's it going? Okay. Brock says, we can finally now watch from Europe. Nice. Yeah, I like this timing as well. Maybe a show during the mid-market days is a little bit fun. It's not as exciting as market opens or market closes, but those are insanely busy. I like the quietness of mid-market streams. We get to still see some fluctuations and what people are doing, but who knows? Maybe one day. I'm just getting used to the setup for sure. I'm at 792 shares, says Fernando. Nice. The scale of your charts make the movement so extreme. Yeah, we really have to make sure that you guys see like how small this is. If you zoom out, the price that we actually ended up closing out at was 803 or 1803 yesterday. So there can be drastic changes, but my chart changes pretty quick because I'm so zoomed in. The entire chart is looking between $17.88 and $18.44. So we're looking at a less than a dollar chart right here. Do you suggest buying more SoFi today or waiting till Monday? I don't suggest either one. I'm not here to sort of promote, trading. I personally like SoFi for the long term, but I always find that everyone's situation is very different. Okay. For the longest time, I had been holding SoFi in a period where nothing sort of happened. And if you needed the money, it might have been a bad trade for you. So SoFi could be considered high for some people, but it could also be considered on a very large discount if you're looking at it from a more long-term view. Let's see here. Which brokerage do you prefer, Moomoo or Webull? I like Moomoo's, UI better. I find it much more clean. But Webull, we've been starting to use for aftermarkets just because they have the overnight pricing. But whenever Moomoo has that, I won't use them for this viewing thing. But honestly, the places that I buy stocks don't have to be like, I don't do a lot of TA or anything like this. So I don't need to be making swing trades or any sort of stuff like that. So to put it into the equivalent, the same sort of place that I buy stocks would be somewhere equivalent to like a SoFi Invest. Obviously, it's not where I get the information that I go to invest. It's not where I get, really anything other than a commission-free area to buy stocks. That is similarly related to an area that I do my banking. Hey Tanner, this is a great comment. Does Trump's comments about interest rates going lower negatively impact SoFi if that does happen? So one, I mean, what does Trump have to say about interest rates? He's a very important man. He controls a lot of things, but my hope is that the central banks are not connected to government, and that honestly, what he says about what the Fed is able to do, I hope it has zero meaning, because if the people that can control the policy can also control what the interest rates are doing, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a disconnected private central bank. So let's just say that if he does somehow have some sort of impact, or Jerome Powell does also just similarly agree, but from a disconnected standpoint, then that's good for SoFi, right? Loan sales on their book are priced at the coupon that they were written at, not what they are, they're not variable interest rates. They're fixed. So if you write a fixed interest rate at high interest rates, which they've done for the last 3 years, which is where SoFi made the high majority of their loan book, well, then the loan sales that will happen as interest rates start to get cut will greatly benefit them, because that's how fixed income products sell, right? If you can buy something that is on secondary market from a coupon rate environment that was much higher, then you have to price them higher because you're going to get that money faster. So it would impact them well. The only problem is if it falls too fast, okay? Because if interest rates fall too fast, SoFi will obviously get an unbelievable rate on their current loan book, but then all of the loan sales, like you could sell your entire book and turn that into cash, but then you don't have any net interest income coming in. You're only taking in non-interest income from the sale of the books. But if you actually go in and want to rewrite those loans, a really fast fall off of interest rates would mean, one, you could have people prepaying their loans too fast. Two, people are refinancing their high coupon rate loans to potentially SoFi themselves or another institution. So you won't even be able to sell them because people will be incentivized to get rid of them. And then three, re-upping on your loans with the cash that you just made will be at new interest rates that might be just not advantageous enough. But yeah. Who's ready for earnings day? I'm ready for earnings day. So we just heard a couple things. One, investor relations at SoFi said that the $2 billion Fortress deal for the loan platform business is essentially happening at a 500 million block of loans each quarter. Okay. So that was expected in Q3, Q4, Q1 of 2025, and Q2 of 2025. And there's absolutely nothing in the deal that says that they can't just re-up or make it even larger whenever the deal has actually finished, which is exactly what PGIM just did, but on a securitization side, not loan platform side. So what does this mean? Well, my anticipation of earnings was that they probably are going to come in lower on the loan platform business than what they did last quarter. They did about $1 billion last quarter. I said, you know what? I could see them coming in just slightly lower. They got a big sale in the first one, but that might not be the case. Okay. Even, where is it? I had the report up in front of me and now I do not. I'll just go find it here. Give me 1 second. It was from Reggie Smith from JP Morgan said that their information is actually showing that there's going to be a sequential increase in loan platform sales. So they think quarter over quarter, there'll be more loan platform sales, which is more bullish than my predictions. So if that does end up happening and then continuous bullish momentum through 2025, SoFi will be even at a higher, potential catalyst for continue to climb in the stock if they get more earnings from more sales than even I wasn't anticipating. Let's go ahead and find this really quick because this was an interesting report. I don't know where it was though. I thought I saved it. Now it's just not here. Okay. Okay, I found it here. The loan platform business allows SoFi to monetize applicants that may have otherwise been rejected without burden on its own balance sheet or capital ratios, which could ultimately boost return on equity and drive multiple expansion, noted Reggie Smith from JP Morgan. We expect to see a modest sequential increase in loan platform originations with continued momentum into 2025. Okay. And then that's on top of a $525 million securitization that ended up happening in Q3 that got announced in Q4, but they actually said, it got announced in Q1, but it actually was started in Q4, meaning the quarter that we're about to see. So let's say even that's 125 million loans sold to PGIM in Q4 that was not accounted for until last week. These are the things that are making SoFi's stock bump up into new highs. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at Amazon really quickly, because this is a company that I've been buying. And, last week I bought a decent chunk. Now we're actually down today, but in the early parts of the days, there was a little bit of excitement because of a couple things. So one, let's go ahead. I'll show you what Wall Street is seeing for Amazon stock. So if you go ahead and look through, now this is not updated with the newest increase. I mean, you could look at NAT here. So NAT, $306 is the new highest on Wall Street. But all of these iterations for Amazon are pumping up the stock right now because if you just go through, this is one of the most loved stocks in the entire market, covered by some of the most analysts. I think it's like 80 plus analysts cover Amazon, and the prices just continue to get higher and higher. And so as of today, you're seeing prices of $306 from Scotiabank there. And here, let me see a little bit more information. That was up from 246 while maintaining an outperformance rating. Very interesting. For Amazon, our revenue estimates go up on AWS growth acceleration driven by secular growth and Gen AI contribution. Our retail revenue remains the same, but note that there is still potential upside given continued possible penetration for e-commerce to grow as a percentage of total retail sales, US retail sales. Let's see here. They think that there's going to be, more cost discipline driving operating margin expansion. They think that there's still going to be a CapEx ramp, which is super good for NVIDIA, by the way. I know that a lot of people want to just look and think that this is all Trainium chips or something like this. If there is going to be, CapEx spend in 2025, NVIDIA's name is going to be all over that. Even let's drag that into the next conversation here, where I want to bring up this post. Let's take a look. The Zuck, okay, Mark Zuckerberg. This will be a defining year for AI. In 2025, I expect Meta AI will be the leading assistant serving more than 1 billion people. Llama 4 will become the leading state-of-the-art model, and we'll build an AI engineer that will start contributing to increase amounts of the code in our R&D efforts, research and development. So they're going to build an AI engineer that is going to be coding at Meta. To power this, Meta is building a 2 gigawatt data center that is so large it would cover a significant portion of Manhattan. Oops, sorry. We'll bring online 1 gigawatts of compute in 2025, and we'll end the year with more than 1.3 million GPUs. We're planning to invest 60 to 65 billion in CapEx this year, while also growing our AI teams significantly. All right. And we have the capital continue to investing in the years ahead. This is a massive effort, and over the coming years, it will drive our core products and business, unlock historic innovation, and extend America's technology leadership. Let's go build. So, bullish potentially for Meta, but they have to pull it off, okay? So, building these things, trying to create the future products, these are not guarantees. There's one guarantee during this, and that they are doing $60 to $65 billion in CapEx. So they've guaranteed that the builders of this infrastructure will get paid. But Meta is not guaranteed to get paid here. Now, I think that they'll do very well. Zuckerberg's 40 years old or something like this. It's not a person I would want to bet against over the next 10 to 20 years. He just has such a long runway and an unbelievable track record of success, an unbelievable one. Okay, I would not want to bet against this man. However, NVIDIA, once again, continues to be my play here to show you that Amazon has an accelerating amount of CapEx that they are seeing. Meta is looking at $65 billion of CapEx spend this year. Microsoft is looking at $80 billion of CapEx spend this year. Okay, the benefactors are going to be the infrastructure plays. And once again, NVIDIA will be taken to new highs, in my opinion. SoundHound, yeah, I probably am going to do a course member DD video. So we're going to be doing every week one company breakdown. I think I'm going to do not AI, AMD next week, and then potentially Grab or SoundHound next. I'm still looking for more names. I want growth names, potentially in that AI space, future technologies. Happy to do quantum as well. I think that would be a lot of fun. But good DD on future companies that are changing the world. And what's so funny too is I think a lot of people sort of brush off companies like, Shark Ninja that we talked about the other day. And they're like, okay, well, Tanner, you talk about future stuff, and yet you are talking about a blender. What's interesting about that, what I think is so cool, is a similar sort of space to serve here is, well, that's more B2B robotics, but I think that Shark Ninja will get very into consumer-based robotics. You already see it with their robo, vacuum and mop tools and stuff, and they're only getting deeper into that. And I think that they'll do very well there. And profitable, by the way. They don't just need a bunch of venture capital to end up funding that, they can, do that themselves. Tanner dodging the question on the number of shares he has. Yeah, it's on purpose. I'm not going to say how many shares I have of anything. We can talk about performance. We can look at the stocks. We can talk about them over the years. You can see how they've changed over time. Whenever I made my original video of NVIDIA, even back in, what was it, 2021 or something, and the stock was $20 a share up to 145. I mean, you can watch that. You don't need to know whether I have $1 million in the stock or 10,000 or something. Like, it doesn't matter. The DD is the same, and that's what I'm going to offer to you guys. So it doesn't benefit me at all to talk about how much I'm worth, at all. It's actually, I find it actually very dangerous. Not for you guys, but there's people that watch this show that know where I live that, maybe I don't want to pay for lunch. Okay. President Trump said that no tariffs are going to going to go towards Canada if they become the 51st state. So we'll see how that goes. I actually don't think that is going to happen. I mean, like I said to you guys, all my money's in US dollars, aside from the real estate that I have here, which if we did become the 51st state, this would get massively devalued, in my opinion. So I might look to exit this if, it really does become a real conversation of Canada becoming, a 51st state. But what I really think is going to happen, or at least I hope happens, is some sort of change of our currency. I don't think that we need a Canadian dollar, nor do I think that we need a Canadian passport that doesn't work as an American passport. How old is Amit? Amit's 27. We're the exact same age. Like same month and everything. I think we're off by a week. ETH for Peace says he's impressed with my crypto knowledge. I got impressed with my crypto knowledge from a crypto named guy. Jeez. No, 1997. We're both 97. Okay, let's see here. I'm Canadian, will love a North American Union passport. I agree. That's all I need, baby. Everything else I can handle myself. But just some of the things, like the costs here in Canada, are just unbelievable. The infrastructure is so terrible. I remember I was starting up this company whenever I was much younger. It was like a clothing business, and we were trying to send. We were looking at the shipping costs, and I was trying to send my friend a sweater that we had ended up making. And from in the exact same city, from me to go from my house to his house, which is very close to Toronto, was something like $15 to deliver that. But yet to send it from my house to California was $11. Exact same package, same everything. That American infrastructure is so built out that even coming from Canada makes it that much cheaper. It's like much, much more expensive for me to fly to certain areas that are very close here in Canada than it is for me to like go to Vegas. Like, I'm pricing out my trip to go to the Shift4 Investor Day, and it's dirt cheap. Now, it's a big tourist destination, Las Vegas, obviously. So, yeah. Needs to close above 18. It does seem like a number that, I don't know, potentially consequential. I don't know. Let's see. All I know, what I really do think is that Trump wants his legacy to change the borders of the United States. That's all I know. I don't think he cares whether it's Greenland or Canada or, whatever. But I think he's really trying to change the border. I think that would greatly put him in the history books. Obviously, he's already there, but I think that's on his bucket list for the last 4 years of being president. When is Vegas? February 18th is the actual event. Whether I'm there for longer or not, who knows? But yeah. But honestly, I don't. It's so funny. Everyone always asks, like, or thinks it's weird, but I literally do not gamble. Never. The only time I've ever gone into a casino was to see a comedy show, like at the actual theater that was in the casino. I do not gamble. Okay. I really like, stocks, but that's very different for me. Now, what the heck is there to do in Las Vegas past that? I don't know. I'm interested to find out. Shane, you've missed many prediction videos. We did a SoFi weekly prediction video. We did a 2025 prediction video on this channel. We did a Q4 prediction channel video on this channel as well. We can go through that a little bit if you guys want, but I think I have 6 cents of EPS. Yeah, I think actually from the SoFi Weekly crowd, I had the highest number of new members, almost 800,000 net after churn. So, bummer, I'll miss you by a week or so. Yeah, that sucks, Lisa. We'll have to check it out. All right. Let's make sure we're keeping up with markets here as we head to 2:30. That's pretty mid-market. Okay. The new Model Y, guys, looks so good. Oh my gosh. I mean, the other Model Y looked good too. I had no problems with it. I mean, I don't know. What I really like about the refreshes, I found whenever I first saw the Model 3 and the Model Y the first time, whenever they were originally released, I kind of looked at them and I was like, they're kind of bubbly. Like, I don't know. It's kind of appealing to a much larger audience, not really my style. But now with all the refreshes, they look much more sharp. They're starting to look more like that edgier Model S look. And that even is the same thing with, the new refresh. And now they're actually starting to roll it out. So deliveries should actually start happening in March, which it's interesting. So what I heard is that I only read this, so I didn't see this from Tesla exclusively, but that the purchases just come with full self-driving now. So it's just simply priced in, and that you don't add that on to the actual car anymore. So let me know if that's actually true, because if that is, that's phenomenal. I really like that idea. I don't think that going forward that full self-driving should even be a disconnect from the Tesla cars. They shouldn't be looked at as Tesla cars with the option of full self-driving. That should just be the product that they're offered. Yeah, it's 60,000 with FSD, but is there an option without FSD, or is it just FSD? I didn't mean to unshow that. Amazon, and then here are my other picks right now that I'm buying is Google and even Nvidia. It's crazy though. The little bits that I'm buying of Nvidia are changing my average cost like so much. It's ridiculous. Um, because my average cost is much lower, but still. Hopefully we can hold up above 18. I think that that's a good look going into Monday. There's a lot of people who are really skeptical uh, that we are going to see a drop in Q4. I mean, it's absolutely possible. The only thing that I think that we could drop on Q4 would be news around. Here, let me back that up so you guys can get a little perspective for how much that actually is. The only thing that I think is like the sort of thing holding SoFi back in Q4 would be its 2025 outlook. Okay. They have always been pretty conservative on their full year guidances. And 2024 was like the most conservative they've ever been. It destroyed the stock. I don't think that they will do the same. 2024 was really like there was a lot of worries about the macro in 2024. Soft landing was not guaranteed at all. And so now I think that this could be completely different. There could be a lot of optimism from SoFi. I think they'll want to place it at least above analysts, but I also think that analysts are just simply, you know, they are placing it just below where they actually believe that things are going to come in at, which sounds crazy, but it's true. Do you guys want to see the Tesla Model Y now? You guys tell me if you like it. I personally love it. Oh, that's gonna get me. So look at that, eh? Honestly, the parts that I'm really interested in is the parts that I don't think a lot of people actually talk about, which is the new sort of quieter suspension, internal changes, the sound changes, the larger screen, um, those sort of things. I've never really been a person to care too much about the exterior of my car. I care about the interior because I don't really see my car from the outside as much as I see it from the inside because I'm the one driving it. Am I getting one? So the thing is that I was talking with my girlfriend. She wants to get one, uh, and she get one if she wants one. But I think that she wants us to get one, and I just don't drive all that much. So, like, I don't think I want to put an investment into a car that is for her. I don't know. Maybe that sounds terrible, but like, you know, she's still my girlfriend. Yeah, by us she means her 1,000%. I'm not you know, I'm not mistaking that. Yeah, we're not married, but we own the house together. We're 50-50 on the house. Yeah. Yeah, and she works from home a lot, so she's just listening probably downstairs right now just All right. One quick second. You guys watch this? I want to go blow my nose really quick. Or I could put on a great video. How about that? Because there was some other stuff that I wanted to show off, but um or no, we'll talk about that whenever we get back. All right, just one sec. It'll be 2 seconds. All right. We're back in business, ladies and gentlemen. She she texted for sure. You know, it's so funny. She just called up to me because once I leave my room, she thinks that I'm not live anymore. So she called up to me and I was like, oh no. But then she's like, I'm having a shower. And I was like, all right, you go ahead. Okay. Let's see what else. Dude, playing options through these earnings would be like, I mean, you guys do you, but that is just straight gambling. I don't know. Earnings would be pretty crazy because you're not just seeing 3 months. We have to remember this isn't a normal earnings. This is earnings. It's a 10K, right? You're going to end up seeing the entire year. So, yeah. Why don't you marry your girlfriend? I probably will. I shouldn't say that. I will. I just like I don't know. Those are conversations we have a lot, but I just think like we're already doing it. You know, we're already living the entire life. There's probably going to be a kid soon. Like life is still going forward. Okay. Um I just what does it change? I'm going to get in trouble. No, like we're already common law. Like she sees my full accounts. We share finances. Like it's all we're already doing it. That's why I just don't care. Um get it done then. I mean, maybe. I think it's sort of a new age way of thinking. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a me way of thinking, you know? Let's talk about Andreessen Horowitz really quickly. A16Z or Andreessen Horowitz made up, the venture fund made up of Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz is now closing their London office and shifting focus back to the United States. They say that Donald Trump's administration having a favorable stance on crypto policies as being a main reason for the return to the US. Um, I think that Andreessen Horowitz is an iconic company, but by far not the only one. Okay. There is going to be a large swath of institutions, both VC companies and just other institutions, like even what David Velez is doing with Nubank, that will look to companies that have more favorable stances on this. And this is the reason why David Velez wants to move up to the United States, is because the stances that Trump is taking. Now, there are a lot of different things that come with the stances that people have in politics. Okay. But on a finance channel, uh, you know, a more right-leaning or conservative stance usually has more favorable takes for the economy. Okay. That I don't think is too controversial. Anthony Noto said a very similar thing. He says he doesn't want to make any stance, but that's not really a stance. It's just usually the case. If you're going to be cutting taxes and not raising them, that's good for the companies. You can have your stance on what it means for the people, or whatever stance that you might have. But I'm just saying, to bring in more growth, stock markets may be good over the next 4 years. Do I like Trump? I don't really talk on politics. I'll take general stances like that. He's Canadian. He likes everyone. Um, yeah, I think that's a decent take. I definitely would not put my self in the extremes of either end. I'll say that. I'm loving all these marriage comments. This is hilarious. Kids ruin your life, but they're great. Are you expecting a pop after earnings? It's very hard because I think what this is what I think is going to happen on earnings is that it's going to be dependent on what management says. I can't determine what they're going to say. I hope it's bullish, but I've seen them be way more conservative than I've ever thought that they would be. But the end result is where I actually am hoping for. Now, whenever they originally said they think they're going to do 7 to 8 cents of EPS, that's sort of where I put them in terms of, you know, like price or sorry, for like EPS for what I thought that guidance might say. But then the actual expectation I had for 2024 back in December of 2023, I said about 13 cents. And now it's probably going to be somewhere around 13 to 14 cents. So I'm very hopeful that they guide closer to what they actually believe is going to happen, similarly to the way that I don't want them to say 7 to 8. I bet Anthony Noto didn't think 7 to 8. I think that he said that for PR and that they actually did believe somewhere between 13 to 14 cents. So I want them to give more expectations for 2025. If you're going to meet your 55 to 80, you need to be a little bit more bullish. Okay. But it is looking very favorable. There was this article that just came out today talking about Affirm and Liberty Mutual Investments expanding their capital partnerships. And what's so interesting about this is Liberty Mutual Investments expects to invest up to $5 billion all the way through June of 2027. So these massive long-term, long-dated investments with companies that are giving more, consumer-based loans, especially on a new type of loan. I always think people write off buy now, pay later. I spoke about this with Hood. Like they said that they have something coming, the next gold event that is going to shock people the way the 3% cash back shocked people for the credit card. I think that it's going to be buy now, pay later. I think that buy now, pay later, because it kind of ebbs and flows in popularity and it's now sort of like a part of people's choices online, but it's not really like cutting edge or something like this. But I do think it's going to be one of the biggest, largest new consumer products going forward. I think the hidden fee parts of credit cards, the parts of people that really don't know how much they're going to pay going forward, is the parts that are going to get really picked apart by the Trump administration and just, policymakers in general. So what I like about buy now, pay later is the no hidden fees thing. Whether or not that's good for consumers is one thing, because then, okay, yes, you're not seeing hidden fees, but you're still going to see fees. They're just in your face. So they can still be expensive. But, it's sort of about that, hey, you knew what you were getting into thing. It's not that you can't get junk food whenever you go into the grocery store. The problem is not knowing that it's junk food and buying something that you think is healthy that isn't. That's sort of the problem. Now translate that into a finance product. And everyone tears apart. You know what's so funny about this is everyone tears apart Visa and MasterCard. Oh, this 3% is killing every merchant. And then like the largest merchants in the world will actively sign up for Affirm and, Zip or Sezzle or Klarna or any of these buy now, pay later solutions and pay 5 to 7% full out of their will. No one's like, oh, I'm not shopping here unless there's Affirm. It's just sort of an added benefit. Most places do not offer those solutions, yet companies will pay out of their mind rates to add those onto their own businesses through full sheet, like their own will, 5 to 7%. Considering our national debt, we need a buy now, and pay now mentality. No, I think credit products work. I like them. You might be making a grander stance, but uh, I've never been late on a credit card in my life. It's not like these products need to go away. It's that there needs to be more understanding about how they work, in my opinion. Um, Tanner, SoFi's management has learned their lesson. They'll raise the guides for 2025 and 2026 this time. I hope. I hope. You could say that about every quarter, though, and they've never quite learned. They've done a beat and raise every quarter, every single quarter. So why haven't they learned on a quarterly basis? I hope you're right. Noto rated his experience at the TGL grand opening as a 10 out of 10. Where was that? I didn't see that. I know you're trying to assign that to a specific EPS, but I don't think there were a couple things. So if you guys know this is kind of funny. There's this whole, Anthony Noto, the CEO of SoFi, will put out these sort of reports and say, I can't even put an example of it, but he'll post something like 2 of something or 4 of something, and then that actually usually corresponds with the EPS that actually comes out that quarter. So people have showed that he's posted multiple pictures talking about, there's 6 people in this image. There's a 6. It's all stupid stuff, but we're hoping for 6 EPS based on that. But the comment here is that he said that his experience was 10 out of 10, saying that potentially EPS will be 10 cents. Common law is a thing in Canada. And I don't know how it works in the States, but essentially it's like, yeah, pretty much guaranteed here. Like if you live together and you guys own a house together. Now without kids, it gives us a little bit of a delay there, but yeah. We've been living together a long time now, even before this house. Less than $14. It's so funny, how these guys work. All the bears that come in, they go, like, whenever it was $4, they were saying it was 2. Whenever it was 8, they were saying it was 4. Now it's 14. 14 is supposed to be bearish. I celebrate 14. That's awesome. It's double my money. People would lose their mind if it was 10 cents. Yeah, I don't even see a road to 10. Doesn't even make sense in my opinion. Like, either way, we'll find out Monday morning what happens, but I'm extremely optimistic. The thing that I just want to continue to reiterate, though, it's not just about this quarter, guys. It's about finding the compounders that grow year after year after year after year. Okay? That is a hard thing to do. And SoFi has not stopped their growth even in the hardest of times. Like, people want to say, oh, well, they haven't gone through a bear market yet. Their biggest product, student loans, got taken away from them. Companies all around the student loan market disappeared or sold off those segments of their business entirely. SoFi grew during that year. Grew. Okay? Like, it's an unbelievably well executed business. And so, like Tim is saying in the chat, SoFi can be a slow burner at times. That's for sure. But it's the linear growth every year. I just find so fantastic, and there's so much, margin expansion to come. There's so much more growth. We're not even close to a total addressable market. There's tailwinds. There's government tailwinds. Things like people not wanting to, or the government potentially wanting more cryptocurrency or stable coin products to be delivered, less cash, so then they can tax better. Whether or not you agree with that personally, you have to think about what are the companies that are going to benefit from that. That is fintech. And as James says in the chat, there's a lot of diversification as well. Pagaya right now is up 7% on the day. Quite interesting. That's actually a partner of SoFi's. They use that to help with some of their loan sales. But I wonder if they'll actually need them as much going forward, as they are going to start transitioning a lot of those loan referrals to their own platform. SoFi is essentially trying to create their own Pagaya. Can you talk about NVIDIA? Have I missed it? What would you like to know? I'm a super fan of NVIDIA. I think that CapEx spend over the next 4 years will be insane. I think that the segments that they'll get into, even past data center, like autonomous cars and the robotics segments that people are expecting going forward, will be as big as people believe, trillion-dollar industries. They are solving the biggest problems in the world. And big problems make big money. In every single future, in Stargate, you can talk about like ETH for Peace here is talking about Stargate. Whether or not you believe that this is a real thing, whether it's going to be underfunded or whatever, there's a lot of conspiracies coming around this with now that Elon is sort of crashing on their party. But what's still very true about this is that it does have government backing in the way of policy. Okay. I think that the deregulatory aspects of Trump's administration will not want to step in the way of the growth and the superpower that NVIDIA really wants to be. Okay. And so that's one of my main sort of pillars of the, trying to find a company that will 10x for you is there a tailwind from government rather than a sort of a legal concern or something that you'd be fighting government on. They have a massive, massive tailwind now with this new administration. Okay. All the technological advances that are coming forward are all tailwinds for them. And I think that they have software that they've been developing and designing for, factors of decades rather than years or quarters like others are trying to catch up with. I think if you're to say other semi names and then compare it to NVIDIA like AMD, I really do think it's the Snowflake versus Palantir argument. Anyway, and that'll be through all technologies, right? Like I think they'll play a part in, manufacturing, like AR glasses or whatever VR stuff that Apple and Meta are trying to do. This is why I like the semis industry. It's not really a bet on, it's more just a bet on technological innovation, like furthering this sort of human digital relationship. which that can sound, like what's that word? Not Orwellian. That's the wrong one. But just maybe scary. Let's just say scary. But it's happening whether you like it or not, because if other companies or if other countries do it and the US doesn't further this AI development, digital development, then yeah, dystopian. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Cringe. uh the thing is that AI and a lot of these technologies are so powerful. This is almost like a Manhattan Project race. Okay. These are technological nuclear bombs that are being developed at countrywide scales. I mean, Meta just said they're developing their own stuff that they want to, help further all just their own internal projects. And the size of this infrastructure is essentially comparable to Manhattan Project. That I guess works. This is almost like don't fight the Fed. Like do not fight the technological revolution. It's moving faster than Moore's law. About 4 times faster than Moore's law. I would say Nvidia is like Palantir that makes chips. Well, yeah, and growing much faster and has better margins and stickier moat. And like I think Nvidia is a better investment than Palantir. Like I don't even know how. Anyway, I'm not trying to get all the Palantirians all riled up, but like just look at the growth rates, look at the margins, look at the like. Alex Karp is a very interesting dude, but I think he's the reason why the company is seeing such a premium. You're buying a company that's growing at 30% and then saying that Nvidia is too expensive, growing at 90. Grow up. I'm here for blood. Let's go. Tanner's stash grows like Moore's law. It's hilarious. But AMD is more expensive. I try to tell people that they don't understand. I completely agree. I completely agree. I'm breaking down the numbers right now. I'm like, this is so boring, dude. Like, here's the thing. A company can go from 10, like I think Brad just said this so well on X. A company can go from $10 to $20 and still be cheap. A company can go from $20 down to $10 and still be expensive. The movements in the stocks do not indicate how well the company is doing, and they don't correlate. So, like, I'll love Palantir if they show it in their finances. But celebrating going from 28% growth to 30% growth, I'm like, all right. It's accelerating, but the stock market is, or the stock is exploding. So if you have this stock at single digits, $10, $20, I wouldn't even, like what I'm saying doesn't even matter because you have so much margin of safety. You're buying this stuff at $80 and you're getting excited about what Dan Ives is saying going to $90. I'm like, bro. That's a 10 peg. We're not close to the market closing. It's only 3:00 right now. SoFi still holding out around the $18 mark. We'll have to see. I can also bring this up. If you guys want to see a constant ticker as well, we can also throw it up like this. If you guys want. Yep, there's a SoFi Weekly tonight. I think there will be a special guest with us as well. Very special guest. Okay, so everyone seems confused. Do we buy or sell SoFi before earnings? I think a lot of people will have their favorite creators or something, and then these people, without any financial background or anything, will tell you to buy these stocks or sell those stocks. I'm not going to tell you to do that. I am holding on to my shares. I'm not buying or selling. Okay. I also have a very, different average cost, and I have a massive margin of safety, and I also have a massive upside if it continues to go up. Uh, do you, boo boo? I'm here to give you the facts, not tell you how to trade. So then if something goes wrong or not to your liking, or this is the problem with people that tell you when to buy, is they also don't tell you when to sell. Or if they tell you when to sell, it might not be exactly when to sell whenever they sold. And the buying part will also be on a delay for when they told you to buy. And so you might also get just a wrong return to what they're returning. And then, like, literal adults, the people who are watching, I mean, I actually see some people who are like actually underaged who are watching financial shows, and like, congratulations to you guys trying to get as much knowledge as possible, and you're like 16 years old. Holy crap. I wish I was you. And I started young too, but that's even crazier. But a lot of people will look for, like, adults, talking like 40-year-old men, look for another adult to say, hey, I lost money because of that person. Grow up, go do your own due diligence. Okay. I'm not a stock picking robot for you. Don't ask me in the chat what certain things mean, like small, things that are Googleable. Do it yourself. All right. I'm just here to share my opinion. And my opinion is that I'm looking forward to SoFi over the long term. Nvidia down 3.4% to $142 a share. My opinion is we'll see on earnings how right people were to bet against my baby. Tough love. yeah. I love you guys. But the people, I see that, as we try to grow an audience over time, there's a specific type of audience member who, and I think that this happens to a lot of people that want to shape their creators to get into a rhythm of telling them what to buy and everything like this. And I don't want to be shaped like that. It's not what I want the brand to be at all. I like tech. I like finance. I want to cover those companies. I want to cover the news. What I'm really good at doing, and I need to get better at the macro stuff, the greater macro, the zooming out and looking at planet Earth and, getting a better picture that way. I usually let other people do that for me. But what I find I'm really good at is like zooming all the way in, way closer than people zoom in, push the trees aside, push the grass part, looking at the bugs and being like, this is what's underneath the hood. There was a mechanic reference there. There was a, biology reference. There was it's terrible, but you get what I'm saying. I like to really zoom in on the micro details, not the macro. Now, the macro is super important. It's not that I don't focus on it. I just need to get better at that. But that is a journey for me. This is like, I'm still learning a lot. This is also what I love about stocks. It's like coming up on a 10-year anniversary closer to the end of the year here. So we just did our 9 years of investing, buying stocks. I still hold stocks. Like the first stock I ever bought was Tesla. I didn't hold those same shares that I bought in the first time I bought any stock. I ended up rebuying into Tesla after I sold it after making like $20 probably. But that's what you do early on. And then you'll learn that there's a lot of opportunity that continues to compound going forward. But anyway, um, what I love about stock markets so much is that I can get good at one area and then realize that one, I'm still not even good at that comparatively to others. But then there's 10 other aspects to investing to learn over the next 10 years, the 10 years after that, the 10 years after that, trading styles, and like, oh, it's great. Oh, it's great. Tanner, another good YouTuber you remind me of is fintech. Yeah, I've had him on the channel. I don't know. Is his name public? Because I won't say his name if you guys don't know it, but I think it's public. But yeah, we talk, which is also crazy. I look back and I'm like, there were a lot of YouTubers that like I grew up watching, like people that I learned from, you know, and uh, and then like I have these people's phone numbers now. It's mind blowing. Like I don't know. That part's some of the craziest stuff to YouTube. Tanner, make me rich now. I think that you should invest a lot. Like, put that on my tombstone. I think you should invest a lot. Put money away over time and buy growth companies. I don't know. Depends on your timeline, I guess. Okay, let's see here what else people are saying. Do what Pelosi does. Pelosi's been following me into trades lately. Nvidia, Amazon, Google. I'm not into Tempest or what were the other ones that she was getting into. I think she sold Tesla. I didn't do that. She transitioned some of her Nvidia. I think it was away from shares and more into calls. Um, guys, who's buying whatever the price is? Are you saying who's buying at these levels? I think that the thing is that people who look back think, oh, well, because they've been here, that they'll go back to these levels. But maybe this entire time was extremely undervalued. And then this is somewhere closer to real fair value. And so in bull markets, one of the things that you're always going to have to find is that there will be less and less obvious deals. There's going to be deals, but obvious deals will be few and far between because there's just more market. There's more money in markets, you know? So if there's more money in markets, that means that the deals get bought up quickly. Oh, guys, yeah, it's going to be earnings season. I'm going to be showing off. We're going to be doing so many earnings calls here on this channel. So if you guys are interested in that, breakdowns of all those companies, I'm going to sway away from just fintech this quarter. I'm going to be getting into tech and everything. I think I've heard from you guys that you guys want some more of my, thoughts on tech, and I've been putting that in obviously with some of the videos on Google or Amazon or conversations on Nvidia and stuff like this. So hopefully they help. And when we'll be doing a lot more of those earnings days going forward. Is Googleable a word? I think so. Maybe not, but yeah. Can next week's DD be on Grinder? I don't know. I know nothing about Grinder. I don't know if it's a Mitt is in it or if it's like is he actually in it or is it just like a joke? I don't know. You know? He's in it. A Mitbot shares a Grinder. Okay, cool. Cool. I haven't not looked into the company at all. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like no, I don't know. That's a touchy one, I guess. Any info on PayPal? I mean, nothing new. What? No, I was just thinking like there's been a lot of like Trump stuff that's kind of going against that community. And so would that have any impact on the company? Then I was thinking, well, no, like he's not like. So I was just thinking like, I don't know, would there be any impacts of what's happening at a macro level of like, potentially changing how many uh genders or like, I don't know. I don't know how that impacts the company. That's what the was. I wasn't trying to like make a statement. I was just thinking about what Trump has been saying. Um, any guess on Monday's SoFi stock price? I hope it's up. I hope we pass $20 a share, but that's a guess. Any guess? Yeah, I hope it goes past 20, but that would have to have a good, 2025. Doug says Trump isn't scaring people like the bishop said. I would go against that. I'm not going to say whether I think that uh, it's the fears are, founded or anything like this. I don't think that that's true. But, you can go online and see what people's fears are. People are making videos, whether they are, founded or not. I don't know. But I see where this conversation is going. It's getting political. So we are going to turn around. Lisa's guessing a price of SoFi between $14 and $25. I think that's a safe bet. Um, let's see. I wonder if SoFi will talk about crypto on Monday during earnings. Yeah, I mean, I sure hope so. We're going to try to see if they close above 18. I think that that's a really good sign. If they can hold that up, I think that changes where the stock will go on Monday. But yeah. Options are saying it goes anywhere between 17 and 20. I think it can definitely break above $20. Brian, no, you're not blocked. I can see your comments. You're just making comments about a conversation that we had an hour ago. We're no longer talking about wife and kids and houses and stuff. Tanner, do you use Yahoo Finance to get your forward price to earnings and forward price to earnings growth ratios? So no. If I'm getting Wall Street consensus, I'll take it from Seeking Alpha. However, I'm sure Yahoo Finance is okay as well. But whenever I do my own pegs and forward PEs, those are my forward PEs and peg ratios. Why would I take what Wall Street has to say for SoFi's peg ratio whenever I think that they might be off of SoFi's 2026 and 2027 numbers by like 80%. They could be off by a great range. Or they could not off by 80%. I should say like they could be 80% higher and be where I actually expect them to be at. Not that they're 1/5 of where they should be. If that makes sense. You think $20 on Monday? Yeah, I mean, SoFi just needs to come out with 2025 earnings that are much higher than Wall Street's, and I think that it gets a bump on Wall Street. I don't think that's crazy. And as much as it seems ridiculous, the higher we get, the easier it is for the numbers to go up as well. In terms of just like the number changes. There's many more billions of dollars covering this company than whenever it was at $4. We still thinking triple beat? 100%. 100% it's a triple beat. I mean, something would have to be genuinely like wrong. Like there's something that we had no clue what happened if it's not a triple beat. You know? So yeah, I remain very optimistic. So we have the SoFi Weekly tonight. I'm just thinking about this. So the Tech Frenzy. So wait, I'm doing a mid-market stream, then a Tech Frenzy, then the SoFi Weekly. What should I talk about at 8:30 today? Maybe I'll skip that one and then work on my AMD breakdown. I think that would be fun. Could these earnings be priced in? I mean, a lot of the optimism is priced in. Okay. I'd be hard pressed to believe that 2025 is priced in just because, like, here. Let's go to. This is a great question. I'll do a little segment on this because this is very important. And this is not just a SoFi conversation that we need to have, but just a general markets conversation. Okay, bear with me. What I'm doing is I'm bringing up Wall Street predictions here really quickly. Let's stop sharing this and let's go to Meta, for example. This is the company that I'm just pulling up here. And if you can see from essentially December, November of 2022, okay, which if we take a look at the stock price really quickly, let's just go over a 5-year term. You can look November to December of 2022 was the absolute lows. This is whenever it hit that $88 mark or $85 mark. And you can see that lines up right with the November, December timeline. Okay. Then if we go back to earnings, go to earnings revisions, you can see that this is where the expectations for Meta were at their lowest. Okay. This is why everyone says that stocks should trade on their earnings. Expectations meet the actual price of the company. okay, over 5 years. Boom. All right. Let's go back now. Not there. We'll go to earnings revisions. As the stock had climbed, so had expectations. Okay. So, yes, there's SoFi is running because expectations are running. Now, let's go ahead and go to SoFi really quick and look at EPS revisions. You see anything? Not really. If we go ahead and look at just over the last like say year, there's a couple things that are happening. Or let's go back to even 2 years ago. All right, November, December, which were the real lows of the markets anyway. You're looking at December 2024. I'll make this bigger for you guys. December 2024 was essentially negative 1 penny or flat for the full year of 2024. Now, SoFi stock, if we look over that period, December, November of 2022, $4 ranges, extremely low. Okay. Now we head back to earnings revisions. As time has gone on, they have gotten no more bullish. Okay. But SoFi had to actually execute to then bring up those expectations. So SoFi said they're going to do 7 cents. Wall Street says 7 cents. They say they're going to do 8 cents. They say they're going to do 10. They say they're going to do 13. They do exactly 13. But the years forward are going to do exactly that. Okay. Even after all of these changes in expectations from going from negative 1 cent to now doing 13 cents, the 2025 expectations have not really changed. Okay. They expected December of 2025, 26 cents, 26, 45 cents. Okay. Anything further than that, I'm not actually looking at. So all these lines up here, I wish I could erase them. I don't know if I can, but just erase them. So if we look here, 26 cents and 45 cents, we get all the way near the end, 28, 47. And then just at the most teensy weensy little ad here, you have 29 cents and 49 cents. Okay. Just a little bit more bullish than what we were all the way back whenever we were $4 a share. They are not trading on their financials. Okay. This is why I think, and look what this is doing, right? 14 EPS upward revisions, 1 down, 12 up on revenue, 0 down. So once again, erase all the top ones. They're only now just starting to get just a tiny bit more bullish, but there's still so much more to go. You guys think 49 cents is what we see in 2026? Management said at their worst, they do 55 cents. Okay. You think whenever they did 2026 guidance that they included crypto, they included custodying Bitcoin? You think that they included the loan platform business? You think that they included new credit cards, potential new products like SMB or insurance primary or global expansion? None of that stuff. So this is why I think that unlike the Metas of the world, the Netflixes of the world, the Nvidias, that SoFi is actually not being treated the same. They're not getting the earnings revisions in even now. And then you see the companies that do start to actually price in some real potential forward earnings, like William Blair, and they say, hey, well, you know what? This is pretty much a $26 to $35 stock all day long. Now, if the price targets, like what happened with Robinhood, start happening, and you start going from, EPS targets that are essentially getting doubled, then that's what's going to happen in the stock too. You're going to have a stock average analyst that says this is a $15 stock, and then in no time it'll be over $50. So, yeah, I'm hopeful that SoFi will continue to beat and not be a lot of the forward earnings are priced in. I do not think that. Some of it, obviously, like there is some, like we're not going from 7 to 18 for no reason. Those are people getting more optimistic, but it could be more than that. And if you do think that this company has a $35 price target or price tag on its fair value, and that the market will meet that, especially as more money comes into markets over the next even 12 months, let's say, that where's that money going to flow into? Okay, yes, it's going to pick the big AI names and everything like this, but even in the last big bull markets, what happens? People will search for secondary and tertiary stocks to go out and buy that might have better multiples on them, and SoFi doesn't look expensive. When people don't want to pay the 10x peg for Palantir, maybe they'll pay the 9, maybe they'll pay the 8, maybe they won't pay the 10, maybe they will, maybe they won't pay the 11. But if new money continues to flow into markets, it's still holding up a 10 peg. People will look to potentially buy other companies that they might be willing to pay 1.2, 1.4 peg for SoFi. SoFi at a 1.5 peg is a $30+ stock. That's interesting. That's based on earnings of today, not earnings revisions of them saying, if they come out and say, I want to turn this off, it's bothering my eyes. If they come out and say, oh, you know what, we went from, potentially 55 to 80 cents of EPS in 2026 to now actually just being 60 to 80 cents. We're just lowering the bottom. We're actually more optimistic. We're not raising the high end, but we're just not as optimistic on the bear market side. All right, well, cool. We will have to raise EPS expectations for 2026 from 68.5 cents up to 70. That'll be bullish. Or maybe I should put this and just lower it. Maybe turn that one off. I don't know. My eyes are being bothered now. Let's show SoFi stock as none of this means anything to the markets. All right. Okay, let's see what's going on in markets today. The Department of Government Efficiency just ended up posting, in the first 80 hours, approximately $420 million of current or impending contracts have been canceled. 2 leases have also been canceled. Initial focus is mainly on DEI contracts in unoccupied buildings. That is very, very interesting. This Doge movement, holy. I'm very interested to see what happens, because obviously people look to Argentina and some of these other countries like El Salvador and everything and go, oh, look how they've changed in just, small bits of time, with a certain government that's focused on these types of issues in, record speeds. But I mean, I'm sorry to Argentina. You're big, but you're a ant compared to the United States. And how fast is even some of the greatest entrepreneurs in the world, like Elon Musk, able to turn a cruise ship around? No, 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 not DEI contracts in empty and unoccupied buildings. The initial focus is mainly on DEI contracts and unoccupied buildings. AND, baby. Same thing. Okay. Um, did you see all those DEI officers that were changing, like DEI officers in government that were changing their titles? Like they were like senior DEI officer. And then the next time that they check the website, like the next day, they're like senior executive officer. Yeah, I'm bullish on nuclear. Yeah, we'll need a lot of energy to power a lot of data centers. We need NVIDIA chips nice and cooled. We know that they've had problems with this. I'm not gonna throw Jensen under the bus though. Yeah, I do think Doge is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I do. It's just also really hard to imagine what big changes look like. I'm interested to see. I mean, that it's the coolest time to be alive ever, in my opinion. Being a 27-year-old without any, uh, knowledge of other other generations, but I'm sure having a great time. Um, let's see what general markets are doing as well. S&P 500 closing out the week down, coming off some pretty unbelievable highs though, so we're all okay with that. Where's BTC USD? 105 for Bitcoin. It did pass 107 today. Nvidia down 3.2%. Google up 1%, $201. Tesla up to $407 a share. I'll make this bigger for you guys. SoFi hopefully closing above $18. Come on, we are pennies away. Robinhood, unbelievable. Look at this. 1 year, 359% movement. It's been one of the greatest investments that I've taken over the last little bit. Getting to know their management teams and the products that they're working on and the employees have been some of the highlights of my year last year. And I hope to do that with Shift 4 and a bunch of other businesses, as you can definitely get a lot better due diligence whenever you can walk up to the engineers and say, hey, what are you working on? Why do you like working on it? Shark Ninja at 110. This is a company that we just did a DD on at the futureinvesting.pro course member only live streams. We're going to be doing a new company every single week. Okay. There is no better time if you guys want to become a course member than now. The price goes up over time as we add more and more DDs and different programs to the course. But yeah. Lending Club is getting really disconnected from SoFi, which I find really interesting. Obviously, less than $2 billion market cap. SoFi is closer to 20. Very, very interesting. SoFi Defiance, the 2x leveraged thing, obviously just trying to, if this one is down 0.1, then you're going to see a lot more drastic moves in Defiance, but down at 0.8. But this is because it has absolutely zero volume. So it's not going to be a perfect 2x right now, but they'll do their best. But as that gets more and more volume, AUM is now at $4 million. That's nearly double from where it was 2 days ago. it'll continue to catch more popularity, I think, especially if SoFi continues to do well. ServiceNow is at $1,120, down 1.1%. Amazing company. I got to show you guys some DD on that company eventually. Shopify, $107. Unbelievable company. Netflix, MFA's down to $63. Lemonade down to $32.35, down 2%. Snapchat, couldn't care less about this company, $10.73. Boring name. I should take it off my watch list. I don't care about it at all. A Solana to 258. Very interesting. Palantir still doing great, even in bad days, $78.58. Wow. Let's see the biggest movers of the day, at least the ones that I watch. Pagaya, Interactive Brokers, and big old Baba. This name, man, honestly, I wonder what the party's going to be like whenever Robinhood passes $100 a share. I hope I'm there. If you were new to crypto, where would you start? Learn about the actual technologies rather than focusing on the price. You know, learn what a blockchain even is. Sure, there's great videos online. But if you don't know what you're buying, then you're lost whenever it goes down. Or if someone creates something better, you'd have no reason to know which one to see or what the problems, like how they would arise or anything. You have no idea what you're doing if you don't know what you're holding. So you need to know what you hold. I'm still holding Nubank. Yeah, I have not bought in any. I'm waiting for the quarter to show up and see what they actually show in Q4. I think Grab is interesting. Yeah, I think I might do one of my DD days on Grab. That would be a very interesting one to do it on. I have no idea how to value crypto. I mean, even that's a pretty hard term. I think that it's more usage based is how I would probably look at it. You know, do you think Bitcoin usage is going to continue to climb? If more people over time are going to be holding this than not, and you don't have to worry about a deflationary or at least unexpected deflationary forces, because there still is Bitcoin deflation per se of coins that have not been mined that will be. But if you even just look at the total supply, then there's absolutely zero. And in fact, that's probably negative from the coins that are being destroyed from like just loss. Like you can just lose a Bitcoin if you miss your key or something. So I think there's something like 3.5 million Bitcoins that are unaccounted for or that are lost into just the ether that are unrecoverable. Will SoFi go down tomorrow? I hope not. It's a Saturday tomorrow. So I'd be really concerned if they went down tomorrow. If you mean Monday, I don't think so. What time is SoFi earnings in the morning on Monday? 6:55 is whenever we will be live. 6:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then at 7 o'clock, we get the initial press release. Okay. So we will we'll be seeing that. Perfect. And then at 8 o'clock, then we'll get the earnings call through till 9 o'clock. And then it will be our thoughts that are shared on the earnings call. But it'll be a long day. It'll be a long day. Um, who's that poor guy that tosses hard drive with millions of Bitcoin on it? Yeah, he put it in, or it was in the garbage or something. I think maybe his mom put it there. I don't remember the exact story, but he tried to locate what garbage like a company ended up taking it, and then where in the plot of the dump site that would end up being on. And then he actually, I think, bought the rights to the dump site for that specific coordinate. And then he's just been like siphoning through it, and it's been like hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin on a hard drive somewhere. And I still don't think it's going to be found. I think it's gone forever. Because, like, who knows? Like, it could be the wrong truck. It could be the wrong, like, I don't know. Yeah. Danny Deals. I haven't seen that name in a while. Yeah, I'd like to have him on the channel. He's a great dude. His girlfriend told him that she tossed it out, but she kept it. Yeah, but it wasn't tossed out whenever it was worth 100 million. It was tossed out whenever it was worth like next to nothing, right? So, um, she would need to be quite the investor to know that. Okay. Do I have coffee? Oh, I have coffee. If I yawn, I take coffee. Great to see you live as I'm from the UK. Thank you for your wisdom as I've been buying SoFi in the 5, 6, 7, and 8s. Congratulations, man. Give yourself a little bit more credit. It's not me. I didn't pull the trigger for you. You saw a company that you liked. I just put the information out there, but I'm not telling anyone to buy. What I like about some of these like freaking, you know, or people give me so much more credit than I deserve. It's like, give yourself a pat on the back. There's so many other articles and people that come out and say, hey, you know what? This company's actually a pile of crap. It's worth way less than even 5, 6, 7, and $8. It was worth, $2 a share. There were Seeking Alpha articles. There's so many people going against what you were even doing, and you stuck to your guns. So congratulations. Thoughts on you streaming on X? I just have no incentive to stream on X. You know, I'll share my thoughts on X, but even then, I'm pretty bad at that. Honestly, I got to give a lot of creators a lot of credit for just being able to like share your ideas on X. I always double, I can never post on it. I find it really hard to me to say something. I find it much easier to just talk. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Oh wow, that story was 5 minutes or 5 miles away from him in Wales. He was from Newport, and they wouldn't let him dig it up. Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what's in the news. The Tate brothers are suing BBC for $1 billion over defamation. Good luck. Oh, did you guys see that Elon Musk's Doge is trying to get rid of the penny? We don't even have a penny here in Canada, so I don't know why, if you guys even care. But supposedly they went from copper to zinc, but then the zinc prices started skyrocketing. So then even, now they're too expensive and they're not worth their own value. And so Doge is going to kill the penny. I don't know if you guys have some national penny pride, but I say get rid of it. Pennies are lucky. They might even get luckier if they get, even more rare, maybe. Who knows? Thoughts on SoftBank? What kind of thoughts do you want me to share? I think it's like one of the most interesting stories. The Masayoshi-san, claim to fame, becoming the richest person in like 2007 for 8 minutes or whatever it was, and then losing 98% of all of his wealth to then build it all back up and become, if not more well known now than what he was before. Unbelievable story, but I don't have a lot of thoughts on SoftBank themselves. Okay. So let's go through and look at the stocks one last time before market close. We'll sort by what's actually moving here in markets. Interactive Brokers is going up. There was a Schwab report today. I think it was today. They passed $10 trillion in AUM, or I should say assets under custody, which is crazy. But it's something like, it was like 2 trillion at 2012. Like brokerages have just skyrocketed. They've done so well. Even in the face of Robinhood doing really well, it's just, this is the amount of money that's being used in markets in general. Alibaba up 3.3%, Celsius up 2.6%. I saw something about maybe, I didn't see the finishing stuff. They said that they were going to be reporting something brand new or something, and it might have been like a new drink or potentially some new type of okay. They just released it 6 hours ago. It's a no caffeine Celsius. And they said it's just the tip of the iceberg. This is what it is. Celsius energy drink. All right. Yeah, maybe they're getting into hydration drinks. Celsius hydration. That'd be interesting. It's not a name I'm in. But yeah. Doge and DEI, whenever military spending is at $900 billion, Doge is wasting time. I mean, I don't know. This is why I think we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening. But one thing that I would not do is bet against Elon Musk. He seems to be one of the more efficient entrepreneurs of the entirety of human existence. See, you know what? Here was the thing: is like I was going super hot on the actual products, but then like they released 3 drinks, which turned into 5. But where I was buying in by the case at Costco, and they were doing 3 drinks here in Canada, and then they never opened up the new product lines. So we just stopped getting them, my girlfriend and I, because we wanted obviously different flavors and stuff like this. But I do think that the healthier, I'm not going to call them healthy, but the healthier brand style of Celsius is a really good idea. The problem is there's a lot of these alternatives. You have like Alani and Prime Energy and all these different, I think Ghost is one of like all these different brands. And essentially the way that I would shop for them is which one's on sale. you know, I do like the no sugar alternative sweeteners type stuff, like whether they're I forget what the sweetener is that's really common in Celsius. But yeah, so I would like them, but I just didn't see myself being a diehard fan of them. Can't beat water. Well, I mean, it's got caffeine in it. But I'm a big water guy. I go through like 3 of those a day. Okay. Snapchat jumping way up right before the market ends up closing. I don't know if there's news on Snapchat. It's not one that I follow very closely. Rivian said that they came out with a system, or they're coming out with a system that will allow for hands-off driving in 2025 and then eyes-off driving in 2026. Interested in seeing what happens there. Marqeta still so beaten down. What a beaten down name. Very much like Galileo on the SoFi side. Quite interesting. I don't follow any of these Stone Co's, D Locals. I don't follow any of those anymore. Shopify, one of the largest names in my entire portfolio. Hoping for a good Q4. Analysts think that it might sell off in after Q4 earnings anyway because of guidance for Q1. We'll have to see. Regardless, I'm more focused on the long-term changes of that company. Robinhood skyrocketing. Can't wait to see Q4. That's going to be unbelievable numbers there. They're doing really well. Nubank, I'm tentative on this one. It's a hold for me right now. We'll have to see what this next quarter says. The reason is obviously they are a generational buy. That is true 100%. But they are seeing really large macro pressures right now. And, if I can get it on a deal to add more, I'd love to. Bitcoin at 105. I got to make my way down as we were running out of time here. But Walmart, Disney, Joby, Block, Coinbase, all up today. A lot of great tech names on this list if you guys are interested in seeing what I buy. Mercado Libre, one of my favorite LATAM stocks, my second largest in my portfolio, and actually the second largest and the lowest position in my LATAM portfolio because I only have Nubank and Mercado Libre. Let's see here. What else? Zoom. This is supposed to be a $1,500 stock, according to Kathy Wood. Let's see if it makes it. Palantir, sort of flat on the day, still $78.97. Nothing to scoff at. They are very, very happy shareholders. That's probably for sure. Costco, $938.89. This is a very interesting name. Maybe one that I'll have to do more due diligence on because one thing I've been getting into my Peter Lynch era as I get older. And one thing I'm really liking to do is buying companies that I know very well. And I know Costco very well. So, I'd like to do more DD on what they've been up to lately, but I know the company's history very well. I know their products, their styles, their yeah. The premium on Costco is just insane. Yeah, that could be said. It's expensive. But what are your thoughts on buying a business that you are, you have next to 100% conviction that it's going to go one direction? So, I mean, in terms of the company's performance, not the stock performance. So what's the premium that you're willing to put on that performance? I don't know. It's hard to determine. I'm not a shareholder of it for that exact reason. the premium. But I also don't know when, similar to like Shopify, for example, when does it change? You know? I used to hold Cloudflare, then I read that they treat their staff bad, so I sold it. That's interesting. Moral buying. Yeah, I like Moomoo. When will ISAs be available in Robinhood? I heard that that's a 2025 aspiration. So that's very interesting. Market's closing here in the next 3 minutes. Let's turn the lights back on, baby. All right. Red Bull is the best. Yeah, it's good, but it can be bad for you, I think, some of these products. Okay. Let's see here. Friday, it's usually quieter during these closes. A lot of the actual market information usually comes out between Tuesday to Thursday. But we get to see how the week ends up closing for a lot of these companies, the markets, and then start an unbelievable week next week. Going forward, it's going to be earnings season, ladies and gentlemen. All large tech is going to be reporting. We got companies like SoFi reporting on Monday. We got big fintech coming early. It will be exciting. We're going to do it all, I think, this season. Over the next 3 months, it'll be a lot of fun. But this is the last chance that people have to trade on SoFi, and they are bringing this company down. Looks like it's not going to close at 18. But 1790, we'll see. Maybe there might be some buying pressure, but it looks like selling pressure right now into the close. And we can see this mainly across the board from other names here. Well, I mean, let's see, markets. Markets are still red. S&P actually turning around here at the end of the day, but SoFi is still cooling off a little bit, but this is, in the grand scheme of things, a very, very small move versus what we're seeing in the year, but still exciting. All right, let's see here. Chat, why aren't you buying millions right now? Holy crap, though. This will be a totally different earnings than any of the earnings that we've seen. Very positive, stock going into this. The highest it's been in the last 3 years. Good macro, positive administration for the markets. So interested in what they're going to say is their outcome for 2025. Really can't wait for SoFi earnings, expecting some big things. Well, ladies and gentlemen, come back on Monday morning. That's 6:55 a.m. to get those results. I love how the mix of comments are like, hey, this is what we're doing in stock markets, and other people are talking about what favorite energy drink flavor that they have. That's awesome. Anyway, markets closed. SoFi, $17.92. S&P 500 closed at $6,101. Costco. Wow, these are interesting ones. Palantir closed exactly flat. Wow, that's crazy. Very interesting. And then we start the earnings season all over again, ladies and gentlemen. We've already seen very positive numbers from the big banks, which should highlight to you guys the sort of numbers that we're going to see from SoFi and the other financial institutions. We got PayPal after that. So I'm not a bear anymore. When was I ever a bear for SoFi? Wow. TSX Canadian markets were up while America was down? That's unheard of. That is unheard of. I don't invest in TSX. Those, I thought Gordon converted you. Not a chance. All right. There is some propaganda in this chat right now. What are you guys talking about? I have never been bearish on SoFi. I thought you were shorting SoFi. I thought Gordon converted you. So you're not a bear anymore? What's going on? Yeah, so I think I may skip the fintech frenzy tonight and then go into more of a just the SoFi weekly, talk with the rest of those guys, because there's no real news that we're going to be able to cover that we didn't already cover in this mid-market stream, or at least unless there's some breakthrough information that ends up coming out. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Make sure that if you guys want more information, more mid-market streams, let me know in the comments, even if it's comments after the streams. These are very interesting to do. So, but your comments on what you guys want me to cover, more tech, more AI, more news-based, let me know how you guys want me to structure this. It's new for me. Haven't seen your SoFi to the moon yet video. Well, you're not going to see one of those from me. Be a little bit more patient on this channel, but yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time, and join the Discord, join the discussion. I'll be on there essentially all weekend. Bye for now.